didn't want to be videoed. Sadie's got this, so she turns it off. Like, so that's one thing. While Sandy's doing that, we really prefer that nobody else video this because there are some people who said they don't want to be videoed.
It's called the one in 49 states.
Right. Yeah, the police are. Okay, so here we are, our last night, and everybody in this room has finally made it to the finish line, and we appreciate you all participating. We appreciate all of your hard work, and we hope that everybody wins something. And I think that just by getting to this point and writing your business plan, you are a winner. So thank you very much for participating. I'm going to introduce you to our judges. Tonight's pitch judges are Sally Stringer Scott from Highlands Union Bank, and Highlands Union Bank is the $1,500 pitch award. We have Mike Bowley from Adventure Mendota, and he and his wife Eva were winners the second time they tried Business Challenge, not the first. We have Susan Seymour, whose business was a winner, and she is with Mojo's. She's also the person that got us the extra $1,000 from the town of Damascus, and she is on the Damascus Town Council, and she is the reason that we have a third place award this year. Mary Trigiani is kind of new to the area, and she is with New People's Bank. She's economic development with New People's Bank, and we are lucky to have her tonight. And she is going to be your judge for JJ's Best Knowledge of Your Business Award. Now, the reason that Joel and Vanessa decided not to participate this year is because they know too many of you, and they didn't want the judging to look skewed. So with that, let's thank our judges for participating tonight. Now, a couple of house cleaning items. Be sure that you turn your business plans in to the Chamber of Commerce before 5 o'clock on March the 5th. Don't wait and say, oh, I put it in the mail. If it's postmarked on the 5th, we'll take it, but sometimes the U.S. mail won't get it postmarked on the 5th. So please don't do that. The office is at the Government Center, and they're on the first floor on the right as you walk in the door. So just hand deliver that so that you know that your business plans. Make sure you make 3 business plans. We have 3 business plan judges. So make sure you have 3 full business plans. We will give them back to you, and if the judges made comments, you'll see the judges' comments. You will not see anybody else's score. Me, Sandy, and Nita, and Samantha compile all of the scores, and we make a spreadsheet, and we know who scores, but you can see your scores, but you won't see anybody else's scores. The judges, as I said in the first night, are anonymous. They are not from Abingdon, I can tell you that, and so they don't know you. They don't know. They may have heard about your business, but I doubt seriously if they have frequented your business often, if at all. So, this is the time that I will tell you, we stick to the rules. So whatever the policies say, this is the time that we review all of that. Everybody that's here tonight met the attendance requirement, whether it be coming all 6 sessions, or if you came 5 sessions and you had someone sit in for you that one excused absence. So, with that said, yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to show that time thing. What that is that's got 8 minutes on it. When you start, it's green. When you have 1.5 minutes left in your presentation, it will go in the gold section.
Yellow.
And the yellow, gold will be back here. And then when you have 30 seconds left, it goes red. That'll give you time to wrap up. Now, let's be cognizant of everybody that's in here. We have a lot of pitches tonight, and let's stick to those 8 minutes, and we want to give judges a couple minutes to ask questions. So I hate to be fight by the rules. Kathy's better at the bad guy. That's why I got that.
That's why they make me do it.
Let's stick to it. So I just want to, don't get scared of it, but that's what it is. It's just to help you, to kind of give you some extra time to know.
So, and in the past, we have had situations where the judges really started asking a lot of questions. Judges, if you will, please keep your questions down to maybe no more than 2 each, maybe a question and a follow-up, because that actually adds time to the pitches, if you will. So, everybody take a real deep breath and relax. We're here to help you, not hurt you. So, with that said, our first contestant tonight is Elizabeth Gardner.
Yep.
The reason I keep hesitating is another whole story. I know a Karen Gardner, so I call her that all the time. But anyway, Elizabeth is with Abingdon Vineyards, and I'm just going to let her tell you about herself.
Very good. Well, thank you so much to the organizers. This has been a wonderful experience. And thank you for the judges for coming. It's been so wonderful to meet all of you, and I really appreciate all the encouragement and connections, so thank you. My name is Elizabeth Gardner from Abingdon Vineyards, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about our story. We say from Napa to Appalachia. So this is my family here, myself, my husband Lauren, our little baby girl Ava Jean, and our 2 doggies. We are known as the country gingers. So my husband, Lauren Gardner, grew up in Napa Valley, and he studied winemaking at UC Davis, and he ended up going into the family business of construction, where they built many wineries and vineyards in Napa. I myself am a Stanford graduate, and I ended up getting my master's degree in education, was a school teacher for many years, ran school gardens. I ended up going to culinary school and started a business called Food and Farm Tours in Point Reyes, California. We're both very passionate about farm to table and specifically education. We have the history of the winery. It started in 2001 by Bob Carlson. He and his wife were retired engineers, and they did a beautiful job building the winery. We have on our team Kevin Sutherland, who's been there since 2005. He's fantastic. He's the vineyard manager and cellar master, and a big reason for our success. He's there modeling with our fancy Italian tractor. We have some steep slopes, as you can see, so that keeps us safe. Kevin Forrester grew up in Damascus, and he's really the reason that we're here. He and his family were best friends back in Point Reyes, California, and they decided to move back to Damascus last spring, and so we came along to help them move, and we're poking around. We were looking for property and stumbled upon the winery and fell in love, and so Kevin's now working at the winery with us full time, and Megan's cousin, Colette, moved from California as well, and she's working at the winery and is a wonderful auntie to our little baby girl. So we have a fantastic team. It's very family oriented. A little bit about the property. We have 45 acres, which is on a creek, and also the creek runs into the South Holston River. So we're kind of on a triangle between a creek and the river. We have 13 acres of vineyards with 9 different varieties of grapes. We're very lucky it was started by 2 scientists, because they've been very experimental in the types of grapes they've planted and have done a lot of good research and good work. We have a tasting room that is open year-round and lots of room for events, which is great. A little bit about the wine production. All of our harvest, crush, and press this year was done with community volunteers, and it was so much fun. We've just been blown away by the community support, and people are really thrilled to have us here and have been incredibly helpful. So this year we made 3,000 cases of wine, which Historically, they've made 2,000 cases of wine per year, so we've already been able to increase that by 1,000 cases. And then here's my husband, Lauren, in the middle here with pouring at our tasting room. And these are examples of our new labels and our new releases, which are coming out next month. We're big into, like I said, farm to table, so we are serving some food and cheese platters in the tasting room, and doing a lot of fantastic events. So some of our current offerings, up here in the first one, we do a lot of wine dinners, and working with lots of different local chefs and local farm producers. We've partnered with a lot of organizations, so we're doing a lot of fundraisers with the museum, with the theater, with Appalachian Sustainable Development. We're very community oriented, so that's important to us. Live music and barbecues, our first whole hog roast on Labor Day. There was 550 people there. We were blown away by the support. You can see kind of the lawn was just filled with people. There was boats from the lake and kayaks from upstream. It was amazing. We do art classes, yoga classes. We have a conference room. We hosted a Southwest Virginia Wine Summit. We're trying to really promote community and the wineries working together. We're, like I said, right on the river, so we offer kayak floats, and we're so close to the lake cruises, bridal showers, weddings, cooking workshops. We did a few live fire cooking workshops. And we also go out to music festivals and other events. Here's some of our plans. Increase production to 6,000 cases. So that will take us a few years, but we will get there, and luckily the facility is kind of built for that type of growth. There's a tobacco barn on the property, and eventually we want to convert that into a distillery and event space. On the tasting room, we'd like to install a front deck because it's a very kind of a steep slope right there. So to allow people to enjoy the river a little bit more. The back patio, we would like to eventually cover that, so we have some covered outdoor space for wintertime and summer showers. We would like to remodel our kitchen on site for catering, to make it a commissary kitchen for other food startups, and to offer cooking classes to the community. We would like to remodel our side to have an outdoor teaching kitchen, and then turn the space behind the winery into an edible garden, so we can do farm-to-table education. So our current priority is the kitchen remodel. And the challenge that we are having, as you can see, we have an electric stove and no hood, and tile countertops, which is not up to code, and just very small household appliances. This is the view, that's the door into the kitchen. So that's our event room with the door in there. And low ceilings, and as you can see, it's not quite, our wine dinners are for 50 people. So currently the chefs have to use the outside grills, even during the winter. So that's definitely a challenge. So here's the idea. We are wanting to remove that wall from the event room into the kitchen and create a bar there where people can sit for cooking classes. And so they can look into the kitchen as the chef is teaching and instructing. And the idea would be to have panels that can be closed, so you can close off the kitchen if you like, and then to remove the drop ceiling and have high exposed ceilings in there, which would look fabulous. So here are some of the benefits. So certified commercial kitchen for catering wine dinners, weddings, meetings, etc. Increased capacity for tourism attracting events such as food and music festivals. Commissary kitchen for food startups that need to rent space. At one time I had a business called Lizzie's Cookies, and I rented space in the kitchen. And then be able to offer cooking classes, and so all of these would add job opportunities and income to our community, and also improve the education and health of our residents. Real quick, just the remodeling pricing. For that project, we need about $50,000. Here's our plan. We got a generous customer donated $10,000 to the project. I'm selling my business back in California, so I'm adding that to the pot, and then hopefully we'll get the $5,000 from the business challenge. And then we will work on grants to get the garden and outdoor teaching kitchen.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem.
This is the hardest part.
I know. That was my task.
So before, judges, do you all have questions that you'd like to ask Elizabeth?
Are you modeling some of what you're doing on your Napa experience?
Somewhat. That's definitely a hotbed of the farm to table experience. So we're lucky that we've had a lot of experience. And with my business, I worked with about 40 different farms and food producers. So, got a chance to run school gardens, and so education is really my passion and focus.
Because this is being done in Napa quite a bit, correct?
Yeah, yeah. And Point Reyes, where we were living. Yeah. It's a great farming community. And what we love here is that there's similar values and great farming history in this area, and definitely a desire for people to learn more about those roots and learning how to can and learning how to garden. And so I think there's, and the Higher Ed Center used to offer cooking classes and no longer does that. So I do feel those were sold out. So there is definitely a demand for the cooking classes. And a lot of great experts in the area that could teach classes there. So it would be a great venue for other local experts.
Anything else, judges?
You've got 6 items you had in your growth plan. All of them are really good. Okay, is this the most important one?
For us, yes.
Okay, and on your revenue scheme, would it be second behind your wine strategy?
Yes. Yeah. Because it would allow us to offer classes and to additional rentals for other, people were renting out kitchen space, and allow us to do a lot more events, and so, yeah.
Anything else? Very good, thank you, Elizabeth.
Okay, thank
So, and I'm gonna ask Elizabeth to state for the record which category you are competing in.
you. We are an existing business.
Existing, okay. So, judges, please write that on your score sheets that this is existing business category.
And you have a rack card there, which has a little bit more information if you need it.
Okay. And the last thing I'll say is just everybody please check your cell phones, and if they are not turned off, please do so. Okay, very good. So contestant number 2.
Little donuts.
Little donuts. So this is Patty Shelton and Teresa Childress.
I apologize, I went right out and left my glasses at the shop. I don't think that'll help me, but.
What's our
Patty? To bring it up to the parallel, the show. Yeah, she's getting it.
To get it. So, well, good afternoon. We're hoping to have donuts here for you all tonight, but we are a startup business, so we are not open yet. In fact, today was the first day that actually stuff got put in place and started to look like a donut shop. So we are a little downtown donut. We are on East Main Street in Abington. Hopefully we'll be open in a couple of weeks. This is a new venture for both of us. My background is 15 years of billing management and front office management for surgical centers and physician offices. I have about 5 years of restaurant experience with baking and waitressing back in high school. So.
And I'm a professional mom of 4.
And so, about our business, we are a unique business for Abington because there is nobody else around doing what we're doing. As a donut shop, our donut is a made-to-order fresh cake or yeast donut, and you get to choose what you want on it. The donut's will be made fresh. You get to decide what glaze, what sugar, what candy bar, what cookie, whatever you want on that donut. And you get to watch it being made and topped. We want everybody that comes into our shop to have a new experience. So it's not just about coming in and getting donuts. It's about the whole experience of watching everything being done fresh so you know what you're getting. And it's one of those options that we want to create a family-friendly environment that everybody's ready to come and sit down with coffee and donuts. We are intending to have some raving customers. And doing research for our business, we found that the donut industry is a vast and growing business. And according to market research, the global donut market accounts for $40 billion in 2016, and they're estimating that it will be up to $55 billion by 2024. That's making the yeast donuts are dominating the global market for the donut with a share of 65% in 2016. In 2018, Dunkin' Donut announced their plans to open between 380 and 450 new locations in 2019, while Krispy Kreme is also planning to extend their business as well. So, our business is more than just a donut shop because we will be extending out to our community. We're going to be offering catering. The big thing right now with donuts is donut wedding cakes, believe it or not, and party cakes. So we will be going out in that road, and we already have a couple of people who have asked us to do with their wedding and receptions.
In your shows.
Yes. So we also hope to be contracting with some of our local businesses for some contracts such as the hotels, those that offer their light breakfast. We're giving them a better option than the Krispy Kreme donut or the Dunkin' Donut that's usually stale. Sorry. We're going to be participating in local festivals. And we have also mentioned some of the schools and their fundraisers. So we have a lot of options other than just being inside in the donut shop. Our market is very diverse. Who doesn't love a donut? So we have ages 1 to 101. So it makes a wide range for us. Our competition is basically Dunkin' Donuts and Walmart and Food City here in Abington. But all three of those businesses have frozen donuts that have been shipped to them. Our product is never frozen, and it's never more than 2 hours old. It'll be made fresh throughout the day, so you always know what you're going to get. One of the, this picture here is a picture of our fryer. I don't know if y'all can see this. So everybody that comes into the shop will be able to see it. We put the batter in, it drops it out, fries them, and dumps them out on the other end. And then while they're nice and warm, you get to top it however you want to. So our goals, after starting up, we are going to be marketing out to all the social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube. Plan to have a newspaper ad, a radio ad. We will be doing a grand opening a few weeks after we open, putting out flyers. We are going to be participating in the bridal expo that's coming up. We'll be participating in the Earth Day Festival that's coming up. And thank you for the invite.
Yes.
We are also hoping that we are going to expand on our menu from just donuts. We're going to offer a lunch menu so that we're going to be open all day long. We're going to be open from 7 in the morning till 8 at night. So if you don't want a donut, and then you get your lunch. We're hoping, again, like I said, to market with some of the local businesses, the hotels, other restaurants, some of the B&Bs. So we have lots of areas that we're looking at to try to grow the business in the next year. Through our partnership, we are a self-funded business. So we are starting out debt-free. We have done, calculated on a very low scale of the bottom of how few donuts we could do to get by, and with being very conservative with it, we will make back our investment before the year is out. We are hoping that, like I said, we're opening in just a couple of weeks in March. We're hoping then by April to hire 2 part-time employees. And hopefully before the year is out, we will have another full-time and a couple of part-time employees. So the reason that we are here is that we need another fryer. If this one goes down, we're done for the day, or for how long it takes to get another one going. And like I said, we're hoping to do a lot of community events and parties, so having the other fryer lets us take that fryer to wherever we're gonna go and still operate the business. We also are needing a commercial mixer. What we're using right now is a couple of our home KitchenAid stand mixers. So this went pretty fast. So, you all have questions for me?
I do. You said that you're gonna be open 7, 8,
Yes,
7 days a week.
6 days a week.
6 days a week.
6 days a week. We need 1 day to rest.
Yes, you do.
I have a question.
Yes.
Have you all engaged any of the local businesses to see what their appetite is for your donut product?
We actually have one person who has offered to buy, if we have any donuts left over at the end of the day, to buy them to make their bread pudding.
Yeah, we have somebody willing to take over day olds after.
Yeah. We're hoping not to have too many of those, but they've offered to do that. But no, as far as finding out what others are interested in, we haven't.
So it's the 2 of you right now,
Yes,
and you're looking to hire 2 part-time.
yes.
Your financials the first year, you're gonna self-fund?
We are completely self-funded.
We are completely self-funded. So everything that we have right now has paid for everything to start up. We have, of course, our husbands have jobs, so we don't have to have the income. So this year is just a build back. Basically, we are gonna pay ourselves a very minimum wage. but-
In your financials, did you do any break-even, look at what it would take to get there?
Yes, yes. We are looking probably to break even around October. And that, like I said, that's been very conservative. We are only thinking maybe to start out selling 250 donuts a day, which should be fairly easy. And hopefully by the end of the year, selling 700 a day. I've also gone to other donut shops in Knoxville and in Johnson City to see what their numbers were like, so that we could kind of base it off of that.
Well, just feedback for you.
Mhm.
Not that I have ever tried the donuts, okay, but this food truck around this area called Auntie Ruth's.
Andy Roos. Mhm.
I've never seen so many people huddled in parking lots to get their custom donuts. It is absolutely amazing.
Yes,
So if somebody likes a lot of donuts
Yeah.
around this area.
yeah, and they just do one kind, they just do the yeast and
You don't
glaze
like the
it,
one
and
they got, that's it.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it. But they are delicious. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not knocking them all over. So.
Judges,
I've
any
never
more
eaten
questions? Okay, and just to be clear, you are competing as a.
Startup.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And my timer's it.
Glasses, I'll have to get my glasses to read who's next. Oh. Okay, so number 3 is Dan Swanson. And so just while they're setting up, just to clarify, the reason that Playdate qualifies as a startup business is if you remember in your rules, it was 1 year or less. So if you're less than a year, you qualify. Hang on a second.
It's not made of on the screen.
You're competing as
Existing.
existing. Okay, and are you in the Glade Spring, Emory area?
No, Mendota. We ready?
Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Can I get you a balloon? I can make a dog, a cat, a monkey, a mouse, a pig, a giraffe. You want a dog? Okay, you got it. What does all dogs need? They need some ears, they need a nose, they need some legs, and of course, how many legs do they need? They need 4 legs. And before you know it, you have yourself a dog. Hello, my name is Samuel Fleener. I'm 22 years old. I am the owner and operator of Ham Bones Entertainments. I started it when I was 18, and it was in the September of 2015. I can make any type of arrangement you can think about. I can make arches, I can make centerpieces. This was actually for a 1-year-old's birthday party. I can make any type of arch you can imagine. These 2 here were actually for 2 older ladies, 50 years old, young, 50 years young. Step on some toes there. This here was for an 8-year-old's birthday party. There went a few points. Here's some arrangements. I deliver to local hospitals and schools, depending on permits and stuff, like what they need. This here was actually delivered to a local school. Her grandmother said she loves elephants and she loves dancing, so she got a ballerina, elephant, and flower arrangement. I can make Ninja Turtles, penguins, Mario, and the cool thing about our deliveries, we can deliver to the ICU. Unlike florists, they cannot deliver flowers into the ICU, but you can have balloons. Since the beginning, we've used around 30,000 balloons. So that's a lot of balloons. But you know what? It's not all about the balloons. It's about our customers. It's about our smiling faces. Yes, we've used around 30,000 balloons, but we have had endless amounts of smiles that we cannot even count. And that's the reason I do what I do, is for the smiles. This here was actually at the end of the day. All the kids had a balloon already, and they wanted to finish up, and they wanted me out of there. The adults did, but the kids wanted one more balloon. So I taught them how to make a balloon dog. This little guy here, he wanted a dragon, so he got a dragon. And this lady here, she's the frog queen. She wanted a frog, so she got a frog hat. Here is my favorite customer. This is Jax. I had been following his story on Facebook forever. And I seen him at one of my festivals, and I was like, I know him. And because of watching Facebook, I knew that he loved Toy Story. Everything Toy Story, he loved it. So he got a Sheriff Woody. We shall never know all the good that a simple smile can do. Mother Teresa. This is just a simple common design form. It shows you we make helium balloons. We can do arches and columns and bulk. That's one thing that they don't do around here. We can actually supply bulk balloons. So 500 helium balloons, no problem, we got you. We can do letters, numbers, and we can also do any type of centerpiece you want. Square up, as you can see behind me here. It's had a couple deflate since about 3 o'clock this evening, but this is our new thing. It's called the squares, and you can actually make any symbol that you want on there, or face. So if you can pixelize it, you can make it. So here's the cool thing about that. Corporate logos. And that is the huge thing right now. And if you have a corporate client, most of y'all know corporate clients always return. So if you give them a good thing, they're always going to ask you to come back. So you can also make arches out of the squares. You can make images out of the squares. And you can make structures. So if you want a castle, we can build you a castle. Every job is a self-portrait of the person who does it. Autograph your work with excellence. UAV, which is an unmanned aerial vehicle. I just recently purchased one. I am working on my license. I went to a class, and I'm getting ready to go take my big test so I can be an FAA registered pilot. So before you do weddings, street fairs, you need to be a registered FAA pilot. You can post those pictures online, but you can't post them on your company page. Because here's the thing, if you're not registered, you don't have your permits, big no-no. So you have to be registered so you can know the rules and regulations, because you're flying near people, and you want people to be safe. So you have to have your rules taken care of. So this year was actually the Irwin Apple Festival. We done that show last year, and there is so many people coming through there. 8,000 people is what they had last year, so you can't hardly make it down the streets. But we twisted about 2,000 balloons that 2-day period. So we plan to expand. This year we're planning on adding a 13 by 13 bounce house and a 28 by 30 bounce house. Everybody loves bounce houses, but who doesn't love obstacle courses? I mean, you can go through there and just have a blast. The cool thing is it comes apart into 2 pieces, so you can actually rent it out as 2 pieces. So that's what we're hoping that the Business Challenge will help us out with, and plus a small business loan. So they're also made of PVC. As you can see, I've dropped you some samples there of what the material of the bounce houses will be made out of. That is actually one of the newest styles of bounce houses they're making. They used to be made out of a really thick vinyl, and they were really heavy. So a bounce house that was the size of that one used to weigh around 1,000 pounds, and now you can get them for around 450 pounds. So it's a lot easier to set up, less people needed to set it up. All aboard! Our second phase, hopefully, is going to be a trackless train. Again, corporate clients love these because you can get kids on to get them off really quick. And parents love them too. I mean, who doesn't love trains? So if you've got a flat area, you can actually drive your train around, and we'll send out a conductor and a engineer to drive it around, and all the kids can have a blast, and adults too. But one thing that we're planning to add to our train that most people don't have is a handicap accessible ramp in the caboose. So we're just trying to figure out rules and regulations because, everybody needs to have fun. So that's counting kids with disabilities too. Insurance is key. If you're going to own a bounce house, you better have insurance. So most places require you to have a $2 million insurance policy before you even step foot on their property. So that's even before you even plug it in. It's a lot harder than just plugging it in these days. So you also have to register your devices as an amusement device. So if you're registered in Virginia and you live this close to Tennessee, you're probably going to want to have it registered in 2 states. You also have to have your state permits and city permits. So that's also with the building codes and everything. It's just like setting up a temporary structure in your backyard. We're looking forward to our new location, Home Sweet Home. We're trying to find us a storefront to where we can be a retail supplier. I am a retail supplier in the state of Virginia. If there's a balloon and you want it, I can get it for you. So all these giant corporations that has balloons, and they say, well, we can't get you that design. We can. So I also plan to hire an additional two additional part-time employees to help set up bounce houses and help run my store when I cannot. And we're just planning to expand. Thank you. Are there any questions? What day can I book you for? Any questions?
Questions?
And with your current situation now, since you don't have a store, is this meeting your financial needs? Can you make a living doing this?
Yes, last year was our best year we have ever had. There was so many parties booked last year. It was amazing. But it kind of got to be a hassle on me because there was too much going on at one time and I didn't have any employees. So that's the reason I'm planning on getting a couple more employees and train them in first aid and train them in how to do balloons. And that way I can have some help. So, both places. Anybody else?
So your vision is to be an entertainment company?
Yes, an entertainment rental, and we're actually planning on going into, after the trackless train, open up another phase and open up into DJing, and actually, like, if you're doing a wedding, because we decorate weddings too. We can do some amazing arches for weddings. Organic, that's the big thing. The Jenners had a bunch of organic arches in their baby shower picture. So if you want to look like a Jenner, we can set you up there too. But we can also do DJ equipment. That's what we're getting ready to get into. And if you want to rent out plates and stuff for your wedding, we can rent out plates for you. So if you hire a catering company, they ain't got to deal with it.
But how do you, do you feel like the balloon business is on a ground to where, do you need to get into these other lines of business in order for the company to be successful?
No, but I feel like it should be to get it where I want it to be. I want it to be a huge corporation that I can keep kids that's coming out of high school and into college to get their first job. My first job was actually with a rental corporation that done bounce houses, and she's retired now, but she had over 50 bounce houses, and that's how I learned how to do this. And when she quit hers, I loved it so much. I said, well, I want to have a business as successful as hers, because, I mean, who doesn't like to have fun? And if you're heading up the fun, all the better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You quickly caught on liability with this business.
Absolutely. There are so many forms and contracts you got to do, but here's the thing, fun comes at a cost. And a lot of people don't like the whole signing contracts and everything, but the contracts aren't going to save us as much as the insurance will. But I mean, it's just, you're dealing with people's kids. They're not your kids, first of all. But there's a lot of liability. Like if a kid falls off a bounce house, which is very unlikely. Let's say somebody didn't stake down the bounce house correctly. There's been cases that they flew away in the wind. So, I mean, it's just being sensible about what you're doing. Being smart and looking around and making sure no mistakes are made. Anybody else?
Hey Sandy, if someone's online watching us, they want to know, do you have a Facebook page?
Absolutely. Facebook.com/hambonesevents.
Okay, any more questions? I love pitch night. I don't have the same creativity. It's great to watch all the people with all the creativity too. Next contestant. Samuel, did you say you're as a startup or
Existing. Existing.
And how long have you been in business?
Since 2015.
Okay.
Oh, and there's a folder, if you guys want, I've already gave it to you. It's got price lists in there.
Okay, the next contestant is Big Daddy's to Go, Dwayne and Dina Duffy. And you are competing in
And also the Meadowview Emery.
the Meadowview Emery. So make sure that you, judges, on your score sheet, write GEMS at the top.
You ready?
My name is Dwayne Duffield. This is my wife, Dina Duffield, and we are the owners of Big Daddy's To Go. We have been in business in Meadowview since February 27th of 17. So this marks our 2-year anniversary.
This week is 2 years.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. We specialize in to-go for lunch and dinner for families, to take away from cooking and preparation and all that. So we do homemade chicken salad box and our homemade pimento cheese box, our famous Moaz. We do a grilled roast beef. Also, we do a grilled pimento and ham and cheese. We do a Reuben. All of our boxes are $8 except for the Reuben box. It is $9 as far as cost efficiency. Also, in our boxes, it comes with pasta salad, a bag of chips, and a dessert that we choose to do that week. It might be, homemade brownie or a cookie or some old-fashioned cake like, Grandma used to make. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
And everything that Dwayne talked about here is our daily menu that you can get every day. But what we're really known for is our weekly specials. And the way that we advertise these weekly specials is on Facebook. And we have a pretty big following on Facebook, and people watch every Sunday night to see what our weekly specials going to be. It can be anything from homemade meatloaf to stuffed peppers to our most famous is barbecue. And all these boxes are $8 plus tax. We also offer catering. Catering is pretty big for us. We offer box lunches, full service. We do weddings, birthdays, class reunions. We do corporate catering. We do church events. We're also SLAM certified. So this opens us up to a whole another level of catering where you have to be SLAM certified in order for the business to use you as a caterer. We also dabbled a little bit out in Alvarado with opening up a second location last year. We learned a lot from being out in Alvarado. We opened up in June of 2018. We closed in October. It's a very seasonal location. We learned that just because a building has been there serving food for 50 years does not mean when we went to go serve food there, it could happen. So we met the owners of the Alvarado station. We thought everything was going to be a shoe-in, and it ended up being we were tied up in red tape for several months trying to get this location open. So this leads us into our pitch as to what we're trying to do now. Our original pitch is people ask us all the time, why can't we come sit down at your location? When are you going to have a sit-down restaurant? So it's very important to us to stay within Meadowview. I grew up in Meadowview, born and raised in Meadowview. So we want to stay within the Meadowview-Glade Emory area. So after calling around trying to find a building to go to, the obvious building is across the street from us, the old Miller's Market building. They were originally going to rent it, and we had talked to the owners about renting this out to open up a sit-down restaurant. Then they decided to sell it, so we talked to the realtor, and they're pricing it at $159,000. So we called our health inspector, who again let us know that this building is like Alvarado. It is not qualified for a sit-down restaurant. It was based upon agricultural standards, where restaurants are based either health inspection or agricultural. If you're agricultural, it's like being at a gas station. You know how you go to a gas station and get a burger? That's how Alvarado was originally ran, and that's how Miller's Market was ran. So what's next? So we thought, let's keep it a to-go business. Let's get a food trailer. So now we can take our menu to you. So we can bring our menu to you. We already cater at local hospitals, medical plazas. We do special events. We can go to fairs, local industrial parks, local schools, sporting events. We did the Chilhowie Apple Festival last year, which was very hard to do in a tent. We did that in a tent. We've also catered in a tent at Emory Henry College. We were asked to do the Washington County Fair, but that was too much for a tent. But now we thought, we also go to utility trailer, JMH, Southwest Regional Jail, HAPCO, the Mental Hospital in Marion, and Mid-Mountain. So all these people call us and place an order for their employees, and we take it to them. But if we had a trailer, they don't have to worry about getting their orders together. We can just go right to them. Just a few quick stats about food trailers. You can read up here. It's very fast growing. They grow at an annual 7.9%, with at least 4,000 trucks employing 14,000 workers throughout the U.S. This is a few pictures of what we offer. This is our roast beef sandwich. This is our pulled pork barbecue. This is our Reuben. And the Moaz is mother of all subs. So that's people that eat with us, they know that's the mother
Weighs
of all
over a
subs.
pound.
Yeah. And everybody always thinks that we're Big Eddie's Deli because they have a Big Daddy sub. So people call for that all the time. But that's what we're trying to do, is get a food trailer to where we can continue to be a to-go business instead of, we've just come to the realization that having a sit-down restaurant in the Meadowview area with the existing buildings is not feasible based on our health inspector. You want to say anything else?
No, we've tried, I mean, we like where we're at, you know, that's.
Yeah, we're gonna keep we plan to keep our storefront in Meadowview.
Yeah, we're not gonna change that, but we, you know, we just come to grasp, well, this ain't meant for us to have a sit-down establishment.
Right
So-
now, you call us, you can walk in, you pick up your food and you take it with you. Or we bring it to you, we do delivery.
Yeah.
But you can't actually come in and sit down at our place now.
And we're also doing a lot for third shift people.
Yeah.
Like in your ICUs and like the South Jail and things like that. Nobody can get out who wants to see Subway or whatever all the time, so we want to give them a chance to have something different.
Yeah,
you
we
know.
deliver a lot to the third shift at the Marion State Hospital. A little bit about me, this is Dwayne's, this full-time.
Yes.
I'm here part-time. I'm also a nurse practitioner in my other life. So that's what I do on a daily basis, and then he does this every day. We also have 2 part-time employees, and we have contracted employees when we need them. And there we go.
Okay, any more questions, judges? All right, thank you very much. Contestant number 7.
Number 7.
You have nothing to fear with fair itself.
That
Oh, I see. Oh, see, I learned something tonight. What about this?
You stand up here with me? I'm just kidding, I'm okay. We'll see, I might make it. Okay, so my name's Cassie Rowe. I am the owner of Build a Basket. We are a startup business. We just celebrated 1 year. Okay, a little bit about who we are. We opened in February of 2018. We started with very minimal startup costs. We do custom gift baskets, corporate gifts, diaper cakes, personalized gifts. We do personal shopping, local delivery and shipping is available. And we also house local consignment vendors. Okay, a little bit about our business. We do call ahead ordering, online invoicing, and delivery. We do pre-made baskets for our walk-in customers. Our vendors do pay rent and a percentage of their sales. The employees are myself and my husband. We host sales events like vendor events and other things like that to kind of help fund our business a little bit. And we do utilize social media and email lists. Okay, so in doing a little bit of research about our industry, it's been proven that the greeting card industry is directly related to the gifting industry. So if you look there, Christmas is 60% of sales, Valentine's Day is 25%, and so on. Down on the bottom there, this is actually our sales for last year. So Valentine's Day is right on point where it needs to be, comparatively. Our Christmas is about halfway, but if you notice at the bottom, all of our other sales are about 33% of our sales. So that's actually what I'm going for. I want the everyday sales. I don't want just holiday sales. So our market and our competition, our market is literally just about anyone. With our budgets range. I literally work off of whatever you have to work with. You tell me, you know, $20, $200, I can put something together for you. Some of our main customers are business people with busy schedules because they don't have time to shop. So in 2019 already, I've already secured 3 corporate clients, and like it was mentioned earlier, corporate clients is what's going to carry you through the slow months. So repeat orders, large event gifters. So if you're having a large event like a wedding and you need favors or again, corporate gifts, we can do things like that. Occasional gifters, holidays, graduations, sympathy, and new moms. We can also deliver to the hospitals. I've had a lot of people from out of town call and order baskets to be delivered. And of course, the self-gifters, because we all need something for ourselves. Okay, so competition. We're the only actual brick and mortar gift basket shop in Abingdon. So our only real competition is online retailers and big box stores. And they offer the same baskets to everyone. So you can go on and, you know, thousands of people can order the same exact thing. There are other specialty shops in town that can put their things in baskets, but they're limited on how they can offer it and what they can offer. Whereas, again, we do the personal shopping, so if we don't carry something that you guys want, we just go out and get it for you. And our biggest obstacle when it comes to overcoming the competition is that mindset that I have to buy flowers. I have to buy flowers. You don't have to buy flowers. We can do just about anything for you. So a few of our goals, we want to become a household name through better marketing. We want to be able to supply an exclusive line of products, and we want to be more engaged in the community because those are the people that are paying our paychecks. So through better marketing, we really need a website. That's one thing we don't have, and I'm very aware that we need one. In 2018, we reached 15 states. All these little dots up here are the states we reached. The average out-of-state order was $60. We did that without a website. So When you type in gift baskets Abingdon, we're the first ones that come up. So that really helps us out. So we definitely need some rack cards and brochures to help get the word out. With some more up-to-date marketing materials, the quality and professionalism will speak for itself. We need to invest in some paid advertising. Upon opening, this is our front page ad on a Monday, and to this day I still get people say, hey, I saw you, in the newspaper. So, but the bottom one here, this is what I like to do the best, face-to-face marketing. The little box that I have there for you, that's what I call a drop-by gift. We can fill that with your branded stuff, my branded stuff, snacks, food, whatever you want to put in it. And that's how you leave a lasting impression. Because when you bring that and you tell them about your business or what you can do, that's going to be sitting there when you walk out, so that keeps that in their mind. The exclusive line of products, because we have access to online stores and resources, we can import products from different regions, which will add a little bit of elegance to our gifts. By being able to place larger orders, we lower our costs, which leads to higher profitability. A lot of the suppliers actually require a minimum order, so by bringing in more business, we'll be able to place larger orders. And these are some of the products that my vendors inside my shop have, and I actually brought a few for you guys to look at. And everything that I have is made locally, and because it's so unique, it actually gives that exclusive feel that people look for. Our community matters. Our Give Back program, each month we have a budget for donations, basically. It allows us to participate in fundraisers. And once we start getting a better cash flow, we'll be able to participate even further. This is a program that we're working on. This will build a connection. It'll allow people that maybe don't have the money for a gift, they can come in, grab a greeting card, and send it to whoever they're wanting to stay in contact with. And these are some of our customers.
Who's the one up in the right?
Right here? She looks familiar. Yeah, she's actually one of my best customers.
Didn't know criminals like gift baskets.
Hey,
Questions?
see, that didn't hurt too bad.
Oh my
Judge?
gosh, it really did. But
Judges,
can I
come up
explain some
quick.
of the stuff that I have here? The glass products there, they're all etched, so that gives an extra step for the personalized gifts and things like that. Those mugs right there, people love those mugs. The corporate clients love them. Right here, these will be for Easter. They'll have children's names on them. So I can personalize just about anything.
One thing you said is, you said that we sell the same thing too in our company. If you have one catalyst for all of you, one thing, a major event that a gift hits the media, it will explode your business. And there are multiple ways to do it. Channel 5 looks for people to come in and talk about their business, okay, at the noon session. So I know I'm gonna see you there.
Tanya's looking at me because she's been trying to get me to do it, and I've had a hard enough time doing this, but we'll get there.
I'm coming to all of you. People want to give good news out in your business
Yeah.
in this region. You just got to ask.
I mean, it's been amazing. I was at Lowe's the other day, and they were like, "Are you that basket lady?" I'm like, "Yep, that's me."
Okay, judges, do you have any other questions? Okay. Dorothy Ann, Laura Katie. Are you on the PowerPoint? Are you on PowerPoint? No, we're going to use ours. Okay. So I'll help you carry your stuff out and then we'll start. No, that's, that'd be fine. Okay. I think it deserves to be a study.
You got an iPhone? Is that iPhone?
Yeah.
I'll go check.
Oh, she's not charging, never mind. Oh, you got. I don't know. Back here, maybe?
Right here.
Oh, you got it? We're set, oh, thanks, okay.
Oh, look at that.
You're the best. Sandy, you're just equipped for every emergency, so are you. I usually have one in my bag. No, I usually have one, but I'm moving and God knows where it is.
You can't be the queen unless you take your emergencies, you
I'm
know?
just telling you, she's the queen of more than
She
tech. Sandy.
Awesome.
Oh, wow, this is really, this is fun. This is like great stuff. It's Mike, is Mendota the place to be store? Apparently it is.
Do I smell a fry? I smell a fry. I smell a
She's going.
Are we laying sideways? Just walk out of line. Back this way. Y'all just tell us how to do it. Yeah, there you go, there you go, there you go. It's in the line. And it's sort of one-sided like we are. Of all the, you got the. That's all right. No, you're not. You gotta get out here. You can't hide behind that door. I'm right here.
So where are you
It's in the light.
This way.
Gotta bring it this way. Go this way. Get up here. Katie keeps trying to get in the back where nobody can see her. Ready? Are you ready? Yeah. We're going to do a little something different than the slide up here because we're going to tell you a story about Mendota, basically. And when you talk about Mendota, it has to be a story. My name is Dottie Dye, and this is Katie Harris, and we are a startup business, the store at Mendota. Now you might say, if you know where Mendota is, you might say, why in the world would you ever want to start a business down there in Mendota? Well, it is a beautiful place, and we have a nice location, and we have a building that was built in 1929 that is just standing there waiting for us to open it up. Now, at one time, Mendota was a prosperous little town. It had 4 stores, a bank, a train station, and a school. But things happened.
The stores all closed, the bank closed, the trains quit running, and Mendota fell into despair. And it was just like everybody forgot about Mendota. But about 5 years ago, Adventure Mendota opened. And guess what happened? People found Mendota again. They started coming back to kayak down our river. And now that the Mendota Trail has opened, people are coming back into Mendota to hike and bike on that trail. But there is still a problem. There is not one place in Mendota that you can buy food or even a bottle of water. But guess what? Come May the 4th, 2019, that's going to change. The store at Mendota is going to open for business. We will be opening as a convenience store with a little lunchbox in the back. And by doing this, we will produce growth in our community, and we will create more jobs and increase our revenue and our tax base for Washington County. We're located on the Mendota Road, directly across from the Mendota Trailhead. And according to VDOT statistics, there's 300 cars that pass by there every day. Let's see, did I get it all? No. Our target market for for our convenience store and our lunchbox will be the people that come to Adventure Mendota, the people that are hiking down the trail, and our nearest competitors for the convenience store and the lunchbox is 15 miles away. The lunchbox will be offering small meals, specializing in a hot and cold sandwich and a variety of snacks, drinks, and homemade desserts. We also will be teaching a make it and take it class, craft style classes. And we'll be looking for ladies between 20 and 60 to be taking those classes. Our goal is to reach those people who want to make high class handicraft items like this and these that we're showing. In our classes, we'll be giving sewing, basket weaving, pottery, and a lot more. But that is something. And these will be the products that we will be having in our store also. We're going to reach those people by social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, a monthly newsletter, and word of mouth. But our competitors on the classes is Hobby Lobby and Michaels and Joanne Fabrics. They also give classes. But with them, if you take a class with them, you have to go into the store and purchase all of your materials from there. We will be making up a package with all the materials, and we will provide lunch. So, now our floor plan, and I believe you got her upside down. And that's not the floor plan.
Well, keep going.
Okay, we have a floor plan that we can customize for special events such as luncheons, parties, and music events. Our potential customers is anyone who wishes to hold a special event or enjoy our local music. The capacity that the store will hold is around 50 to 60 people. Social media and word of mouth will be our best advertising for these events. Our nearest competitor is in Abingdon or in Bristol. Our mission is to provide a unique place where people can purchase a boxed lunch, enjoy a cup of coffee, a homemade dessert, purchase a home-crafted item, and learn to be creative, place an event, and listen to some local music. We will be open 5 days a week and will coordinate with Adventure Mendota to work within their schedule. We will hire 2 part-time employees who are retirees, and that works really well for them. We would like to invite each and every one of you to come down to Mendota, take a drive, and see the newest addition in town. We won't be hard to find because we're only 5 minutes from the Mendota Tower, the North Fork of the Holston River, Adventure Mendota, the Carter Foal, and the Crooked Road Music Trail. Now to talk about some money things. Katie owns the store, so we don't have a mortgage. We don't have rent. And the building was once a general store, so we have retained all of the shelving and all of the cases in it and all the tables and chairs, and it looks pretty much like it did in 1929. But we do need some renovations. We want to bring the bathroom up to ADA code and an expansion. The kitchen needs a new sink to be brought up to state and county codes. That build-out cost is going to cost us $7,752. We've made a personal investment in our store of $10,000. Our startup cost to open the door will be $4,350. The breakout for these numbers are in your packets that we gave you. Our projected income from the lunchbox and just from our craft classes will be $20,460, and that's based on an 8 months year. If we should win some of the money from the challenge, it will be used to offset some of our startup cost. Thank you. Question? I had to go fast on that.
Have you thought about shaping or promoting the experience as a place for people who might be there with family who want to ride the trail or go to kayaks but don't want to do that stuff, especially the target market of the women? Could you do
We
this?
can. We
So
can.
the
We would love
classes-
to have things for children, and we can teach them crafts.
So that the whole family could come.
Yes,
and stay there.
absolutely.
And the other thing, just having seen all the presentations, there might be ways for you to tie, particularly with the vineyards, into some sort of an experience that includes that, so that you get people to Mendota for a day.
Yes, and that's what we want to. But the name of Mendota is getting out there now. Highlands Festival is coming down for a day in Mendota, and so it's people's hearing about it more and more. And we just felt like this was the time, and that building was sitting there, and it was just time to do something with it. So.
Are you prepared for the influx? There's going to be an influx.
Are you saying I'm old and I can't keep up?
I'm just saying $20,000 may be a little understated, because with all of the new things that are going on in that area, I think you might rethink your market.
We marketed very low. We went low end just to make
We
sure
did.
that we could do it. We have plans for part-time
This is
help.
based on, if you look on that, of just simply 20 sandwiches a day. That's our, and 1 class a week.
You guys gotta market you,
Yeah.
because we all laughed, but this is a startup by people of a
Oh,
certain
yes.
age, and that is a competitive advantage nationally. So go with it, because you guys are sharp.
Any other questions?
We're retired, so we can do this, but that's okay.
I have
We
another
don't
retired?
do this.
Can you have another? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Take somewhere back there. Open your box.
Now, what are you doing up here making us do?
Hey, those cakes are for people doing presentations, you didn't hand it over.
Oh, you just lied all of us, but
Is that pictures too?
one.
Okay.
I'm not gonna eat mine right now. I'm gonna save mine.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I'm not sharing, don't you?
Toss a few more after. What did you do? What did I do? All right. 3 seconds. Sorry.
Just so you all know, people watching online are saying those are some great competitors that I'm not judging. It's gonna be a couple of things.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, we got quite a few watching.
How many's watching?
Sandy, I love that you're doing this. You're just good at it. It's great.
It's beautiful. It smells delicious.
We do it big time. Biggest thing they never seen all time.
Here we go. Huh, technology, right? No, it's working.
I wish somebody would look at it and listen to it. But you know, there's a little building right across from my house. That was the Masonic Hall. Yeah. It's for sale.
I mean, I can do this without the presentation. Here we go. Okay,
Got some windows in it. That's all.
y'all ready?
Yep, I'm gonna go.
Sorry.
What do we do before we go?
You're starting.
Good evening. I'm Mark Finney. This is Justin Dick and Tom McMullen and JJ Bressoir, and we are the founders of Tumbling Creek Cider Company. We want to thank the Chamber of Commerce, the Small Business Incubator, and the many other sponsoring organizations for hosting us over the last several weeks. We have learned a ton about our company and also a lot about how successful businesses operate. We also want to thank y'all for the opportunity to pitch here tonight. We hope you enjoy this presentation. Tumbling Creek Cider Company has 2 main objectives. First, we are focusing on making heritage hard cider, which is full-bodied, complex, crisp and robust, rich in tannins and gluten-free, and which reflects the flavor profiles of what folks were likely drinking in Appalachia generations ago by using local apple varieties like Virginia Beauty, Hughes Crab, and Old Fashioned Wine Sap. At the same time that we're making great cider, we will support the region's economy through the use and promotion of local apple varieties and botanicals like hops, elderberry, and regionally sourced herbs. In this way, we'll help create markets for apples and other growers and help revitalize the region's apple growing economy. While we primarily want to be a cidery that is for and from this community, we anticipate that our regionally focused product line and our sales strategy will also provide a meaningful draw for tourism. We started doing this work in the spring of 2018. And in what we're calling year 0, we purchased a good deal of equipment that we're locating in the 4,000 square foot facility that we're building outside of Meadowview. We're in the process of producing 600 gallons of cider, which we anticipate bringing to market this summer. We added half an acre of cider apples to our existing orchard, which will help offset production costs beginning in year 4. And we continue to conduct market and design research. In addition, we've begun the licensure and certification processes that will enable us to produce and sell hard cider while ensuring legal compliance. We're also pursuing B Corporation certification. B Corporation is a private certification that's based on a company's social and environmental performance, which is focused on stakeholders and on the community. Over the next 5 years, we will scale up our production and distribution. This coming year, we will produce and sell 2,500 gallons of cider. We will increase our orchard acreage and expand procurement and distribution contracts. Our sales projections support our efforts to give back to regional growers, and we aim to reduce barriers to entry for regional agricultural producers through annual contracting that guarantees product purchases and fosters stability. Our sales projection also suggests that we will support regional tourism by focusing our sales strategy on regional restaurants and retailers through agritourism by hosting orchards and cidery tours and workshops. The more quickly we ramp up our production, the sooner we get to break even. We expect to be producing and distributing 7,000 gallons of cider by year 3. Our growing orchard will continue to offset production costs, and over time, we'll provide the region with another source of highly desirable cider apples. In addition to expanding our procurement and distribution contracts with regional partners, we plan to build a tap room. We intend for this to be a family-friendly space with local music where people, especially locals, will want to spend their time. So what drives our projections? Well, the craft hard cider market in the United States has experienced rapid growth, with over 500 craft cideries having opened in the last 10 years. And national trends forecast regional market development for craft cider. According to ibisworld.com, which is an international market research firm, cider market growth has increased 7.9% annually from 2014 to 2019. According to Forbes, regional cider makers make up 25% of total cider sales. Smaller brand sales grew in 2017, even while national brand sales fell slightly. In addition to this, the percentage of legal alcohol drinkers who cited cider as their go-to beverage rose 3% in 2017. But despite a rich history of apple production, there are currently no new hard cideries in Southwest Virginia. A few will be coming online in the next couple of years, but we plan to beat them to the market. When we look at market trends and we consider the typical cider drinker, we see that we can benefit from a two-pronged market strategy. Our first priority in years 0 and 1 is to establish relationships with regional restaurants and retailers via a business-to-business word-of-mouth campaign. Until we have a tap room, our approach to sales will be through these establishments in the region that embody our ethos and our zeal for high-quality, locally sourced foods and beverages. We have already begun to do this work and will continue to do so. In addition, we will be targeting locals and tourists via a multi-platform social media campaign. National trends tell us to anticipate that people who favor hard cider tend to be younger, and while they appreciate the crispness of cider, they're looking for more full-bodied flavors. These drinkers tend to be brand and style conscious, but they're not into the mass-produced brands, and they prefer to support local businesses. These are also people who tend to be active on social media and open to adventure. Nationally published market research tells us that regional ciders like ours tap promising markets of consumers who are interested in locally produced and sustainable beverages, have local root stories that are appealing to consumers, benefit from agritourism potential, and can command premium prices by focusing on quality. We will partner with regional organizations to do this, like Visit Abingdon, Virginia Tourism, Appalachian Sustainable Development, and the Craft Beverage Trails. In addition, we anticipate partnering with regionally focused events like Rhythm and Roots and the Virginia Creeper Fest that are geared towards both local and tourist audiences. It's our expectation that the coordination of our high-quality, regionally sourced hard ciders, our two-pronged marketing strategy, and our emphasis on regional economic and tourism development, that we will break even in production year 2. But as you might expect, hard cider is capital and materials intensive. Add to that the costs of marketing and distribution, and we project a budgetary need of $70,000 for year 1, but revenues of only about $10,000 from year 0. If we are to win one of these prizes, the money will be used to close that gap, to allow us to spend more time focusing on crafting, selling, and distributing awesome hard cider. We think that the national and the regional markets are both primed for our company, and we are ready to meet this challenge. We're excited about the opportunities that this adventure presents to us, and we're looking forward to working with all of you We think that our business is going to support your businesses, and we think your businesses are going to support ours. So thanks.
What are your backgrounds?
I'm a mass communications professor at Emory and Henry.
I'm a environmental hydrogeologist and hop grower, among other things.
I'm an environmental educator, environmental scientist, and I've taught biology classes for years.
Professor of biology at Emory and Henry.
Have you known each other for a long time?
A few years.
Few years?
Some of us.
3 or 4 or 5 years?
I don't know this, but a large region, you know, if somebody said apples, you know, I'm thinking of north there in Washington. Okay. Is apple production real prevalent here?
Used to be.
It used to be enormously prevalent, and that economy has really collapsed over the last several decades. One of the primary reasons why we're doing this is because we want to bring back some of these apple varieties that were native to the region and to support those growers.
What's number one?
That's what we
No. Yeah, I just, when you were talking about that, I thought locally sourced, and I thought apple farms. I remember over in Mendota, there was a huge apple farm, and they had all the old equipment and how they used to get these apples. But, you know, I didn't know there was much of that. But another company in town, I will, last word, I'll shut up. Food City, having them here for you guys, if you want to distribute your product.
Right.
Okay, there's a, down in Bristol, there's it's a beer.
Studio Brew? Or
Studio Brew.
Yeah.
Okay, they sell, the biggest product they have down there is root beer. And they sell it through Food City. Who would have thought?
Are you gonna keep your jobs?
For the time being?
So, this seems a little labor intensive, who's gonna do the work?
Well, there's 4 of us, so we're able to, you know, split up a lot of it. I thought Tom raised his hand.
I taught at Virginia Intermont College, but it died 4 years ago. And since then, I've been doing a lot of community service and that kind of stuff. So, like today, my face is kind of red because of windburns and working on the cider barn. So, and I'm also going to be in charge of managing the orchard and planting the trees and that kind of stuff. That's going to basically become a big job for me.
And what do you do if you were to win? What would you do with the funds initially?
Well, we have a pretty big gap between where we need to be in terms of buying apples and equipment for year 1 and where we are right now. We're going to have to fundraise that in one way or another. And so we're hoping that this will help us offset some of that fundraising. We have a large marketing goal this year as well.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Damascus, you definitely. I moved down here in '97.
Tom, who's here? Look on my screen. Dean Ball. This also, and I wanted to, I was just gonna say something about that. The GEMS award, again, we consulted with the attorneys, and because none of the judges are from Emory and Henry, either here or the private judges, they do qualify. So they are in the GE and that GEMS corridor.
And startup too.
Yeah, we are a startup also.
Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dean Barr. I'm the proprietor of the gallery at Barr Photographics at 152 East Main Street in Abingdon, Virginia. We were established as a photography studio in 1986. So I've been doing business for about 33 years here in Abingdon. In 2001, we segued into the fine art gallery in addition to our photography services. Our gallery hours are from 10 till 6, Monday through Saturday. This is our logo, and for the purposes of this presentation, we're going to follow frames, arts, gifts, and photos. So let's start with the frames. We do museum quality archival custom framing. 2 designers work in our shop, one full-time, one on an on-call basis, and that's my wife Valerie, who is a certified master framer. She does all the hard stuff on a consulting basis and on a contract basis. That is what we're trying to remedy here. We're looking to expand our business to gain a bigger share of the market so I can offer Valerie a job. Our frames, mats, and glass are all cut and fitted in the house. That means we are a manufacturing framer. We do everything from scratch. We don't use any type of ready-mix. We have a Wizard CMC mat designer, which is a computerized mat cutter that will cut all kinds of crazy, wild things. You'll see some of them here later. Our dry mounting and museum mounts are the way we mount our objects in the frames. Our materials and suppliers, we use Larson Jewell and International Molding. We use Crescent Rag Mat and Morbin Fabric Mat Boards. We use True Good Glass, which is 99% UV blocking, and the Hart brand of acid-free foam core. Everything that we do is archival. It's museum quality. That means it's reversible. These next few slides are some examples of frame jobs that we have done. This is Valerie's specialty. It's fabric art. It's counted cross stitch. And you can see on the map the way the wizard can design frames and mats. The next one, this is a watercolor that was by one of our artists. We framed this. This is the Plaza of Verona by Stu Gitchell. This is the military shadow box. We do lots of shadow boxes, and this was one of our better ones. It's got all this gentleman's name, his berets and his braids and everything in it. This is one of our latest frame jobs. This was done for the Kingsport Library. This is one of Charles Viss's oversized pieces. This was a 48 by 50 piece, and it's now hanging in the children's section in the Kingsport Library. This is Walnut Grove Methodist Church. This was given to their minister when he departed last fall. Fine art. We do 6 featured artists per year in the gallery, and since 2001, we have done over 100 fine art exhibitions. A third of those have been for emerging artists that did their debut show in our gallery. We host watercolor, acrylics, oils, fabric arts, G-clay prints, computer-generated images, weavings, etchings, wood carvings, neon glass sculptures, pen and ink. The gallery right now has 35 artists that we are representing in various mediums. This is an image of the corner gallery where we have the featured artists represent the featured artist exhibits. This is an example of one of the artists who we have in the studio gallery. This was Brenda Mask. She did our Christmas show, acrylics. This is Brett Laguerre's twins. He is a plein air acrylic painter. We've been representing Brett for about 10 years. This is The Gift of the Cherokee, a watercolor painting by Catherine Schrenker, who is the executive director for the Wayne C. Henderson School in Marion. She did her exhibits with us before she became the director up there. This is a computer-generated image, G-clay printed on canvas by Chuck Mullins, who is a Northern Virginia artist. This is Roots and Oil Painting by Gary Dagnan, who is a retired University of Tennessee professor. This is a plein air oil painting by John Sowers. The name may be familiar because John used to be one of the resident artists at the William King. He is a founder of the Arts Depot, one of the founders of the Arts Depot. Used to live in Green Cove, now he lives in North America. This is Anchored Peace, a plein air oil painting by Renee Pitts, and Renee lives in Bluff City. This is an organic weaving with, this is a weaving with organic applique by a local artist named Jane Wilson. If you go to the farmer's market, you will see Jane on Saturdays. She does Blue Ridge chocolates. And this is a photograph, giclée printed on canvas by yours truly. This is a couple of pictures of the studio gallery where we retain artists that have at one point done a show for us in the corner gallery. Our gifts. We have sterling, silver, gold, and beaded jewelry, pottery, blown glass, lace art, metal sculptures, baskets, mother of pearl, soapstone and wooden boxes, silver wind chimes, and other curiosities too numerous to mention. This is a couple of 3 pictures of the gallery. Come in, have a look. You'll find something you can't live without. Our photo service, from back in the day, portraits, edition, productions and restorations, weddings, products, object, photography, legal, portfolio, and fashion, all in the studio or on location. These are a couple of 3 pictures that we've shot recently. This is a photo restoration that I did last fall. This is the bunch of roses. So, the gallery bar photographics. Stop by, you may find something you can read. Questions?
So you would use the money from this award to pay the whites?
We need to be able to pay the wife. We have to expand the clientele. So we're going to use the money, if we were so lucky to win it, for advertising and expanding our footprint as far as gaining the market share. Any more questions? Thank you very much.
Our next contestant is Paul with Turf Pros. I think he's going to have some of that CBD oils like Cassie. He really didn't want to.
I need a stress ball.
I'm good now.
I'm good now.
Kathy, I'm good now.
And some deodorant. Well, I'm gonna be little Johnny. Let me know when to start. I guess I better.
Are you ready? Okay.
I'm Paul Baker. I'm the owner of Turf Pros. It's an outdoor power equipment store at exit 17 in Abingdon. I guess I'll be the bad student in the class. I don't have any PowerPoints or pictures or anything. I had actually planned on coming in and just providing support for everybody, but after some pretty intense peer pressure from the back of the class, I changed my mind. So what I'm going to do is tell you a little bit about how I got to where I am, and then I'm going to tell you about what Turf Pros has going on. I'm from Abingdon. I'm a 2000 graduate of the Turf Grass Management program at Virginia Tech. From that point, I've been all over the Southeast working for equipment manufacturers, landscape companies. I have a very good understanding of the equipment field. I've always been somewhat of an equipment junkie, so one thing that I knew was that I wanted to eventually come back to Abingdon and start my own business. The 2 things I knew I had to do was work hard and learn as much as I could. So I finally made it back to Abingdon in around 2010, 2011, and for the last 6 or 7 years, I've maintained 2 jobs to save up money for this venture. That was one way that I was able to do it. And so the other way that I was able to do it was that I have worked for other equipment dealerships in the area. And so I know what the competition's doing, I guess is what I'm saying. So one thing that I did notice that nobody else has really mentioned is a slogan. Turf Pro slogan is right place, right people, right products. I want to talk to you a little bit about Turf Pro's side of our slogan and then the consumer side of it. Right place. We were fortunate enough to get the facility at Exit 17. We have extreme traffic count on a daily basis. When I first started, I looked at probably half a dozen locations, and it kind of squashed my dreams because it was extremely expensive, $7,000, $8,000 a month, and I knew that wasn't going to happen in the equipment world. So fortunately, on the location side, a building came open. I took advantage of it, and so that worked out in our favor. On the consumer side, the place, Abingdon, Bristol, the whole Tri-Cities area, I think people have a greater passion for the outdoors than most areas around the country. I lived in Charlotte, Greensboro, Atlanta, and I really feel like this is a very unique area. People love the outdoors. They like to garden. They like to take care of the grass. So I feel like that we were in a win-win combination as far as the place goes. People, that's where I spent most of my time trying to figure out what I wanted to do with Turf Pros. In my travels around and other job careers that I've had, I noticed that people were somewhat stuck in their own little world at their job, and they wasn't versatile enough. So I thought about how I was going to be able to operate a business profitably with just a few people, and what I determined was that could be done if everyone in your location knew just as much as every other person. So when I'm in the shop right now, back there turning wrenches, I don't have to worry about if a customer comes in, my other employee can sell them a mower just as simple as he can ring them up on the parts counter, just as simple as he can go back in the shop and turn wrenches. So that was sort of part of the ability for me to take my time, and I've talked to a lot of people over dealerships over the last 2 or 3 years pretty intently, and that was where everybody else struggled, was their employees. I can't find help. I can find help, but all they want to do is come in and get a check. I heard that over and over and over again. So that's where I put most of my emphasis, was on hiring people that I knew I could trust, and I knew that I could turn away from, leave if I needed to, and everything would be fine. The people on the consumer side. Right now, if you go to Lowe's and you buy a lawnmower and you take it back to Lowe's to get it fixed, it sits there for 2 weeks and then gets put on a trailer and goes to Morristown, Tennessee, and stays there for 2 or 3 weeks, and then maybe it makes it back to Abingdon, maybe it doesn't. So I'm focusing on everybody, but I want to be the company. I don't want to be the biggest. I want to be the best, and I want to be somewhere that people know they can come in, they can talk to me, they can talk to anybody there, they can get the truth, the honesty, and they won't come into a situation where they buy a $3,000 lawnmower and then 2 years down the road it's worn out because they didn't ask them, how big's your yard? How steep's your yard? Is it rocky? Is it flat? Is it hilly? And that was hard for me to swallow working for other dealers, is that a lot of times they sent people out the door with the wrong piece of equipment. And so that's one big reason why I opened Turf Pros, because I love my community and I knew that if I was honest and worked hard, that I would succeed. The last part of it is products. Right now, I have all the products that I wanted. Toro, Hustler, Echo, and Simplicity. Hustler invented the zero turn. Simplicity, Toro, and Echo have all been around since the 40s and 50s. They all have a rich history in the turf market, and that was all the products that I wanted. I got, and I'd actually worked for Toro and Hustler both, and Echo and Simplicity I had sold in a prior job outside of Abingdon. Well, that's pretty much it. I think I'm about out of time. So. I think that was yours.
You're into sales, you're not into service, right?
I'm into both.
You're into both.
We sell, we service, and we have parts. And one part I left out. Right now, we have 2 full-time employees and 1 part-time. And my hopes is to have possibly 4, by this time next year, possibly 4 full-time employees, maybe 5. And if we want any money, it would probably go toward marketing or possibly some fancier technology behind the parts counter to let us be more efficient with scanning stuff in and out. And also, we build out $50,000 worth of stuff in the first month. So.
How long have you been in business?
1 month.
1 month?
1 month.
And you did?
$50,000 worth of business.
This is why he said he didn't have time to do a PowerPoint. I said, I don't care, you're telling him.
He's getting $3,000 off me Friday morning.
Yeah, right there is one of them. Thank you.
You got one more question.
There was a man who presented 2 years ago, and Kathy will remember him, and much like you, he had a vision and a passion like you do, okay? He opened up a mechanic shop here in Abington. All of us looked at, and we knew this guy was gonna be a success.
Right.
You got the ingredients. I think you're gonna really hit a home run with this.
Thank you. I hope so.
Okay. Next up. We're coming to the end. Tanya, read the next name, please.
All necessary.
Al Necessary. Sorry, Kayla. Oh no, you're going to. Do you have something on here?
Yeah. I don't know. I can ad lib. I'll tell jokes.
They're not funny.
There it is.
Hey.
Let's see. I guess that's one.
Are you ready?
My name is, yeah, I'm ready. My name's Alan Necessary. I'm the owner of Sargent's Pay Lake Campground. I was born in Arlington, Virginia, and when I die, I'll probably go back there. But I grew up in Green Cove. Thus, when I come home from the Army, from being retired, I opened up Sargent's Pay Lake Campground. I am an existing business, opened in 2017. What I have is primitive camping, trout fishing, fresh trout delivery, dead or alive. If you want to order up some trout, we'll catch them, clean them for you. Or if you got a pond that needs stocked, we'll deliver. We sell drinks, novelties, and snack sales. And we do fish cleaning. If you come up to fish and you want to take them home, we'll clean them up for you. Don't have to get your hands dirty. We kind of stumbled up on this 2017. When we opened up, we did a soft opening, and lo and behold, Boy Scouts started coming up. And I didn't even think about when I opened up the campground about them coming up. But the Boy Scouts of America are now Scouts of America. We also have Trail Life and Girl Scouts. Had our first Girl Scout group come last year. We also cater to family reunions and birthday parties, church and youth groups. We're 300 yards off the Creeper Trail. And this is very important because according to Virginia's for Lovers website, since 2016, there's been over 250,000 people on the Creeper Trail every year. So location, location, location. We also are 2 miles from the Appalachian Trail, so we get some hikers from there. We also are starting to get motorcycle riding groups from the Iron Mountain Trail. Now, this ain't your typical, quote, Hells Angels groups. Most of these people are 40 years old, having their midlife crisis, and they come up, and we had 2 of those groups stay with us last year. Anything to get away from the wife, you know what I'm saying? Last year, we started getting deer hunters, and lo and behold, the reason we're getting deer hunters come up and stay with us, because we wanted to shut down in October, but deer season opens in November, and they didn't have a place to stay, so I said, sure, I'll reopen for you. So we made some money off them, and we've already got reservations for this year. Our market description, like I said before, location is prime. I'm 300 yards off the Creeper Trail, 2 miles from the Appalachian Trail, and we're actually 3 miles from the start of the Creeper Trail at White Top Gap. White Top Gap has a bicycle shop as well. It's a Creeper Trail bike and rental shop. There is no immediate competition for trout pay fishing within 38 miles. The nearest one's in Tazewell. They charge by the pound. They're very expensive. We charge by the fish. And also, there's no pay lake / campground combination anywhere that I could find in Southwest Virginia. The closest campground is 7 miles. There's actually 2. You got Bear Tree and Grindstone. Both of those are state-owned pay lake or campgrounds. My rates are cheaper, and I also offer free Wi-Fi. I have Eno stands, which is nothing more than a hammock with a little tin over it, but it's really taken off. We offer free firewood and free electric. State campgrounds don't. And also, like I said, they're closed during deer season. Another thing I've done with the property, I've got 15 acres, and some of it you can't put a tent on. Some of it you can't even hardly stand on. So back in Kentucky, I raised these crops. So I brought that with me when I came. I've built 2 ponds, one for children under 5, because my big pond, they can't cast, but my little pond, they just walk up, drop a line in, catch fish. I also have an office and equipment barn, and in 2018, I was getting so much demand for campers that I had to get lease agreements from my neighbors so I could have room to put other campers at. Last year, I had 3 Boy Scout groups on the same weekend, and trying to keep them separated and everything, so we've got lease agreements made out. I've also incorporated ginseng and morel mushroom farming on the hillsides where camping's not possible. I did test planting of both in 2017, 90% success rate. If you know anything about these crops, they're high dollar items, especially the ginseng. And in 2022 will be our first, that's when we're going to dig our ginseng up, which is what you see right here, and you sell the roots. Last year it sold for $5.50 a pound. That's $550. Our marketing strategy, we're getting a ton of business off direct mailings because we mailed all the Boy Scout groups and trail life and all that. Facebook and other social media sites. Facebook works a lot better than you expect it would be. Word of mouth. People come up and I always ask them, how'd you hear about me? Well, so-and-so told me about you. That's great. We also network with the bicycle shops. We also, with the Chamber of Commerce, and even some of the restaurants downtown. Damascus Diner, they were here last year. They sent a lot of people up to me. We're upgrading our website right now. We had one last year that was very basic, and we're moving up to a bigger one. And we also advertise with Virginia Tourism. Virginia is for lovers. If you're not on it, you need to get on it because you will get some business from it. My projections, my initial investment in 2017 was out of my own pocket, almost $30,000. That year we toyed around with a soft opening. We only ended up with a little over $3,000 in net profit. But in 2018, we went to weekends only on the Pay Lake fishing, and we let people camp through the week. But we did a lot of things later on in the years, picking up the deer hunters and starting to sell more fish, people ordering more fish, and not working that hard, we made over $12,000. We still haven't got back to our initial investment yet, but in 2019, I believe we're going to reach that, and I'll explain that in just a minute. As you can see, each year it climbs, but in 2022, it's really going to kick off because that's when we're going to dig up 2,000 ginseng roots, and that's going to really help boost. And every year, you're going to see later on, we buy the seeds, we replenish. Here's our yearly expenditures. It's very low. The highest thing on there is the trout purchase. Because about twice a month, I gotta go buy a rainbow trout. I've got a tank on the truck, I go get them, stock them, put them in, and of course it costs gas.
Can't you grow them? I'm sorry.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Also,
I'm getting punchy.
notice our advertising is really low, and that's off our direct mailings. We try to get all the free advertising we can get. I don't want to spend a lot of money on advertising. Growth plans. This summer, we are going to have 2 part-time jobs. We already had to hire people last year on contract work. And this year, we're trying to put in, if the rain would just let up, to put in a road addition, because this road addition is going to give me a lot more sites. This is how the road is going to be. It's going to be about 4,000 feet long, and this is what I'm trying to get this money for, so help me out a little bit. It's going to be 4,000 feet long, 20 feet in width, and it's going up the side of the hill to get to the top of the hill. And it's got to be 20 foot wide, because the scout groups, they always show up with these utility trailers that carry all their gear. There will be an additional 100 to 125 spaces established for tent and eno camping, and that's going to be complete with water and electric. If I've got it at the bottom campground, I'm going to have it at the top campground as well. Cost of the new road is approximately $12,000. And that includes the electric, gravel, water lines, and everything. The road will get me approximately $6,000 to $8,000 a year in additional revenue camping. And just like that, Jenny and me were camping at Sergeant's Pay Legged Campground. And that's all I got to say about that. Questions? I like to cut up. I'm sorry. It's in my nature.
Okay, wait, why can't you grow trout? Like, can't they just multiply?
First of all, room.
Okay.
Okay, and second of all, I have a commercial license, which, I pay $100 a year.
Okay.
The guy I get it from is in Chilhowee, which is 25 minutes away. His hatchery is probably a quarter-mile long, and he orders his eggs from out in California. He's got a barn that he hatches his eggs in. The first bin, once they get 3 inches long, he takes them out of the building, puts them in the first bin. The second bin is 6-inch trout. The next bin's 9-inch trout. It's a lot of water and a lot of movement, and they eat. And since it was established 25 years ago, for me to build a new and do that, the EPA would eat me alive.
Well, plus, I just mean, like, they won't, because they're being fished, right? They're not gonna, like, naturally populate.
No, they can't repopulate. They're sterile. He buys sterile eggs. And the reason they do that, you're putting them in a confined place, and if they go into, once a trout gets 13 inches long, they want to lay eggs, and the males beat the females to death because they're in a confined place. You put that many fish in a pond. When I stock, I'm putting 300 trout in a pond twice the size of this room, and it would get messy in a hurry.
So people just like to fish?
Yes. They bring their grandkids up that, a kid, it gets bored if they're not catching fish right away. They get very bored. So it's nothing to.
Well, you can send them to Mendota to make something.
But she sends people to me, and I send people.
No, but that's right. That's what's
Yeah.
so cool about all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
The Scouts, we train them all year long.
Yeah. And another thing about the scout groups too, we have a cleaning station there, and they got to get their fishing patch, so they catch the fish, identify the fish, clean the fish. So, and we're already booked up,
That's great.
Yeah, so they keep us busy. They really do.
And your growth trajectory, the numbers you had up there, you're Sarge, correct?
Are the what?
You're Sarge, correct?
Yes, I am Sarge.
Okay, so Sarge, those projections were based on the past growth? There's no one you can benchmark in the country that's already doing something like this. No one else in the country is doing this, so you're getting your numbers based on what?
Well, it's based on the number of camping spots and what I had to turn away last year, plus there is nobody. I mean, the state campgrounds, yeah, they have sites, but they cost more, and with getting the groups, I can make more money off a group than I can an individual. That's why I target the groups. And that's why, I didn't want to open to April, but I'm opening in March this year because people are already asking, scout groups are already asking for those dates. So give it to them.
Any more questions?
Can I get a map of where your gym signal?
That was so.
Oh,
the gym site?
Map of that.
Don't give that away. Any more questions? We have 2 more folks who have waited all night, so
Thank
thank
y'all.
you. Donna Akers is next. Donna, do you have a PowerPoint on here?
I'm the last one. Well, at least I'm not gonna apply you with sweets. Nicole at Whitebird's Juice nicely donated some juice for tasting for you guys. So I'm just going to ask for those. Don't start the timer yet. So at least you had something to drink now instead of just sweets. These are not the alcoholic Whitebirds either, by the way. Sorry. Sorry. So, and here are some of her brochures. Anybody wants any of those? What is our flavor? It's on there.
I don't need it.
Hello, my name is Donna Akers, and I need to make a confession. I am a nerd. More specifically, I'm a history nerd. Any of you guys history nerds too? Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. So why? I like to think it's because I grew up here, out in Washington County, out kind of close to White's Mill, and grew up just hearing stories about our local history, about Daniel Boone and the wolves, and also in our garden we found just this large quantity of Native American artifacts, and so that gave me this interest in history. And, all of us heard that. Well, I decided to keep studying it. So I ended up getting a bachelor's in archaeology from James Madison, worked as an archaeologist for a few years. Then got a master's in environmental planning and historic preservation from the University of Virginia. I also have a half a master's in English from Appalachian State. And I started writing books about local history because I wanted to educate people about their heritage. In that heritage education vein, I have now come up with this idea for Old Abingdon Adventures. Okay, here's some little eye candy. This stuff excites me. It may not excite you, but Old Abingdon, old postcard of the Barter Theater, parade on Main Street, hard to spell, who remembers that? Okay, so my mission would be to offer residents and visitors a different view of Abingdon, to try to get them out of their cars, onto the sidewalk, to have guided walking tours with educational, informative, and entertaining information about our unique history, Appalachian culture, and local cuisine, thus the juicing. I'm the owner. I have a lot of experience in historic preservation planning, experience teaching, an archaeologist, published author, writing, editing, worked at a museum. I've been on the White's Mill board also. So here's what I see as the problem. Abingdon is receiving so many accolades as, one of the best southern small towns by USA Today. We've won numerous awards. Visitors here are spending a lot of money. Tourism spending is increasing by about 0.05% annually. Yet, we would like them to stay longer, to spend more money, but also learn about, kind of to brand Abingdon, what makes Abingdon so different, what makes it special. Plus, visitors today want more activities, experiential learning, and to learn more about history. So without a museum or anything, then our visitors are missing out on the raison d'etre, the reason for being, for Abingdon as a former fort in pioneer community. So Old Abingdon Adventures is the solution. Services, I would provide several guided walking history cultural tours of different sections of Abingdon to highlight its history. Phase 2, which is, and then we would stop and get a snack probably at White Birds, definitely. Phase 2 would then be to develop walking food tasting tours. I was going to do that for this, and then it got really complicated with different restaurants being open lunch, dinner. I want during the week, I want the weekend, and I just was like, okay, let's just start out with history. Then I only have to deal with myself. And then I see that these tours could be also constructed in Glade Spring, Meadowview, and Damascus. So here's a typical customer. Probably most of you know this. The typical Abingdon visitor is 55 years and up. Couple with above average incomes and education level, living within 3 to 5 hours. And I also see that locals would be interested. This also fits the National Traveler Profile, which is actually rising now. It's the number 3rd type of tourism in the U.S. is culture and heritage. So there's this increasing interest. And there's also the new market of the millennials, okay? They have more money, they have flexible jobs, they're traveling more, they're tired of the homogenization of our culture and looking for something different. So there's really not a lot of competition here during the Highlands Festival. Sometimes they have tours, you have ghost tours. So you have the spirit walks, which are offered sporadically, ghost walks by Appalachian Ghost Walks, and the Historical Society offers one during the festival. But none are offered for more than a couple of weeks. So I would try to plan on doing these like May through October, and you know, most of them also emphasize ghosts rather than history. So marketing strategy, social media, of course, the print marketing, networking. I've already begun to partner with different groups like the Historical Society and the Visitor Center and the Main Street program. Everyone is really excited about this because they say at the Visitor Center, we have people all the time asking, what else can we do in Abingdon? We want to learn about the history. And there's really nothing that provides that because we don't have a local museum. So I thought we were supposed to kind of do our income and expenses. And I know this looks kind of paltry compared to y'all's, but so really the capital equipment investments are just so that I would be able to sell the tickets online. And so I came up with $6,100, and then income, you know, in charging about $20 a tour, and that's based on an average of tours around this region. And then book sales. I figured I could probably sell some books while I'm at it, and I would also do some advertising in the brochure, perhaps for different businesses. So net income, $5,300. Woohoo! Yeah. So Old Abingdon Adventures, the barter, the tavern. Wow. So yeah, I'm a fast talker.
You got us distracted with all this juice.
It's non-alcoholic, I promise. I love that place.
Judges, do you have any questions?
Where would you be housed?
I've looked into, some friends of mine have an office that they're renting out a space on Main Street, right across from the courthouse, possibly. That is a little more expensive than the incubator. But I do live in Boone. I'm from here, but I live in Boone, North Carolina. And so I would be coming over here part-time, you know, to do this. I have that flexibility because I'm a writer and a teacher and a real estate person, so. Yeah, I realized I would have to have a storefront here.
Donna, can you flip back to the prior slide real quick?
Sure. That one?
So, how did you come up with the $20 ticket price?
A little bit of primary research. I put something on Facebook and I said, how much would you be willing to pay? And people said 15 to 20, 25 plus the ghost walks are $15, I believe. And just checking around like in Jonesboro and other places, you know, I'd like to offer it cheaper because really my goal is more to educate people, but it's like the numbers just don't add up unless I'm, you know, corralling people in and and charging that much. So it would be about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And, you know, I'd have to, because it's an older tourist too, I'd have to do 2 separate ones, like one in downtown Abingdon and then one on the courthouse area. So.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the last thing I'll tell you is this. We will be announcing the winners on March the 21st at 7:30 at the Southwest Higher Education Center. We will not call you prior to and let you know if you have or haven't won anything, so you must be present if you want to be recognized. You do not have to be present to win, but you must be present to be recognized, your business to be recognized. That is a free breakfast sponsored by the Washington County Industrial Development Authority, which is the one of the funders of one of the $5,000 awards. So,
What date is that again?
that is March the 21st at 7:30 at the Higher Ed Center.
AM.
A.M. Yes, ma'am. I have to stay up all night just so I can get there in time. So what happens tonight is we take all the judges' scores. They don't even tally. They don't know what each one of them have done. So we tally those, and we will have those checks ready the morning of the breakfast. I have seen people not win first place. However, they would win the 15 and the 1,000, and so you know you never know what kind of combination you might win as far as this is concerned. It's worth coming to the breakfast, if nothing else, to get familiar with the services that the Chamber of Commerce offers, and so that you start to feel like you can network with the other businesses that are members of the Chamber of Commerce. We encourage you strongly to have a membership with the Chamber of Commerce, whether or not you're a winner. The winners actually, in all 3 categories, get a 1-year free membership to the Chamber. So that's another bonus that you have, if you will. Are there any other questions? Go ahead, Dean.
I don't have a question. I just want to say that if anyone has promotional materials they want to bring by the gallery, we have a table in the hallway that we use to promote other people's pictures. So bring it on.
Okay. Cassie.
You said that you guys were going to be tallying what they've done. What if there's a tie?
We've never had a tie. So I hope that this is not one of those years. We would probably just have to draw a number out of the hat. You know, honestly. Dan?
Kevin, with all these great presentations, could you all provide a list, at least a summary of what each business is doing and contacts? I several people I want to follow up and network with inside
I think everybody's put business cards on the table, haven't they?
Yeah, we have put everybody in a MailChimp list. When you send MailChimp out, does it show does it disclose the recipients?
Typically don't share that, that's each individual, but.
Does everybody in this room want their email address shared with each other? Okay. I'm gonna be gone for just a little while this week, and I'll be back next week, but we will, or you've got it, don't you, Samantha? Okay, so Samantha can send that to you from the chamber. And just to be clear, you've all given your permission to share your information with each other, right?
And Kathy, on my part, if folks have questions based on what we did here tonight and would like just to email with a question, I'm offering myself for that.
Okay, well, they won't know what each other's scores are, so.
No, I just mean
they
in general as a resource.
Right, and so that is and we'll put Mary, if any of the judges want to be put on the mentors list, we can do that. Mary, do you have your business cards with you?
Yeah.
Because they all have a list of all the mentors, so they can just take your business card.
Oh, okay.
This gentleman right here, one second.
Okay. If anybody is having a grand opening and you want balloon arches or cloudbuster balloons, which is the 3-foot mega balloons, I will take care of you guys. I normally don't do this, but I'll give it to you for 50% off. So that's a really good steal.
Get baskets for grand openings. I've done a few
Anybody wants free fish
Nita.
heads on
Chamber sends out, and that's the thing about these groups, we've witnessed this year after year, is all the folks that have participated have become friends, they've gotten to know each other, and their businesses network together, and they do help each other. Karen, Elizabeth, I knew I was gonna say it. Elizabeth said, we send the invitation out for the chamber breakfast, right? A notification?
We'll be sending a mail tip out for everyone, so you just can respond.
And that was the question is, do you need to RSVP? And the answer is yes, you will get a mail chip invitation to come to the chamber breakfast. Please RSVP so that we have enough food. Mike.
Just let comment. You have a lot of food related companies here. What went by a lot of you that you may not have noticed, this is the best marketing company here in Abington, one of them. Okay? What makes her special is she's not even here. And she's still got her company represented. Okay? If you didn't pass that, it was pretty clever. She had one of the presenters hand these out. Okay? You have to look for every opportunity. And one thing you can do is you can cut up food, but it's hard to break up a kayak and hand it out. Okay? So if you're in the food business, this is the future, whatever you're doing, okay, look for these opportunities to network, okay? Because they're there.
I could see one of those necklaces that holds a little fluid that you could put some Mendota water in and sell it, and it could say, I floated out
at the store in Mendota.
$15.
In a baby food jar.
Thank you all for
I would buy
all
baby
your
food.
enthusiasm.
I mean, they were teenagers.
Very appreciated.